Welcome back to my channel. I am Sumon. Today we are going to be discussing a very important part of communicative English. Yes, we are going to be discussing about non-verbal communication. First of all, what is communication? Communication has receiver and a sender. Let's say I am a sender because I am the source of the language or the words that I'm speaking, and you are the receiver because you are receiving it. So, this is a form of communication. Now, there is verbal communication that you are hearing, and there is non verbal communication. Through my hands and gestures, I'm conveying to you. So, non verbal communication becomes important when it comes to appearing for an interview or approaching a class, for a lecture, for a demo, etc. Because if we know what to speak and we don't know how to speak it, it becomes difficult for not only the sender but also the receiver, and it becomes difficult for the whole class or the interview. So there are six elements of non-verbal communication. The first element that we are going to be discussing is about body language. So, body language becomes very important when it comes to nonverbal communication because whenever we are trying to discuss about something that is very faster, as fast as a train, we tend to move our bodies in a faster manner. Our speech becomes a bit faster. But whenever we are trying to talk about something that is as slow as a turtle, then we face our hand gestures in a very slower manner, right? So hand gestures fall under body language. The way I move, the way one moves while approaching an interview. Then there is facial expressions, right? When one has a very organic smile in an interview, then it would come up as a very confident thing. Is a the person who is showing a very organic smile, that person would seem very cool-headed, calm-headed, isn't it? So that is body language. Then we come to eye contact. Eye contact is also a very important thing because see, if we are approaching an interview and we are not looking at the interviewer when he's questioning something, when she's questioning something, we are looking upwards or downwards or towards somebody else of no consequence, then it becomes meaningless to approach that interview or the class. If you are approaching a class, you should be looking at all the students, all the candidates, isn't it? So, eye contact becomes very important. One needs to look at the concerned person, right? Then, proxemics. Some people might be confused about what it is, but you see, there is a proximity to the word proximity for proximasis, isn't it? So, proximity, I'm sure you know it. Proximity means the distance between certain objects, right? So, if we are approaching an interview or a class, and if you are able to use the space properly, for example, the panel of the interviewers is at a distance from us, and we are trying to become expressive about it, then it works for us because they are at a distance from us. If we are expressive, more expressive, it would come up as a normal thing, right? And if the panel of the interviewers is very close, and if you are being very expressive about certain things, how would you feel? It would feel like a battle, a kickboxing match, isn't it? So use the space properly. When the distance is more, become a bit more expressive. When the distance is less, become less expressive with your hand gestures. Because then your facial expressions, the part of your body language, the facial expressions would be enough, would be nuanced enough to be deciphered by the judges of, or the interviewers. Right? So we now come to punctuality. Punctuality is one of the most important things when it comes to non-verbal communication, if not the most important thing. Because in general rubrics, when we tend to give marks, we give marks more to the candidate who comes to the class not on time but before time. We give them average marks when they come on time, but we give them very less marks or even in negative when they come late in class. We may consider them absent also. That applies to you when you give an interview. The interviewers tend to assess you based on these lines. If you are on time, you get normal marks. If you are before time, you get more marks. If you are late, you don't get marks. So, punctuality, use of time. And remember, this use of time is not only about the time you come to give your interview, but also about your pacing of words in front of the interviewers or in front of the class. Because you see, if you answer certain questions very faster and you answer certain questions which you don't know the answers of and you think about it too much and you answer them very slowly, what would happen? Things will not work for you because you have created a better impression when you have given them faster answers. But as soon as you give them slower answers, answers in a very slower pace, or you are not able to give them answers after a certain while, then it would come off as a very underconfident thing for you, isn't it? So, pace your answers properly. Don't rush your answers. And at the same time, don't slowly answer to the extent that the interview panel wastes their time. You waste their time, right? So, that is use of time. Now we come to paralanguage. Paralanguage is something that which mm, very synonymous with which is very synonymous with how you speak something, right? It generally has the tone of your voice as a key element. Let's say you are giving a lecture or you are approaching an interview in a smaller or a closed space. Your voice need to reverberate in that situation, and your lower pitch, the bass part, should be in charge in that situation so that proper reverberation takes place in that room, right? And if you are in a very open space or a very large space, the high pitch of your voice should be acting because it is due to higher pitch you will be able to reach everybody in the panel in the class. So, reverberation and voice modulation. are important for paralanguage. Now we come to appearance and artifacts. Appearance and artifacts are different sides of the same coin. Why so? Because if one has a very proper, a formal blazer, tie, and watch, then their appearance would become formal. So, proper artifacts would give you a proper appearance. One should not go to the class or in front of the interview panel in a very casual attire, wearing casual artifacts, because they would be taken as a very casual person. Dealing in a formal situation would require someone to be having a proper attire, a formal attire, right? So, to appear in front of the panel, the interviewers, one needs to wear proper formal blazer, pant, and a watch, right? So, these are the six elements of non-verbal communication. If you have any questions and queries, you can ask me directly in the comment section. I'll be there and I would be very happy to help. Thank you so much.